Leave now or watch it to the end. 1 minute tips only in TikTok. But if you want to live the love of your life, you'll suffer. If not, you will suffer full time anyway. Many YouTube channels give us endless tips and tricks how to attract people. Okay, and then what? I believe each one of you have been in a relationship before, but you broke up. Because the real question is not how to attract people, but how to keep the love and relationship in time. And this is what we are completely unprepared for. We are wired for connection with our loved ones, but connecting is really hard. From the very beginning, we put so many layers of separation between us. Layers of conditions like, I love you if you stop smoking, I will love you if you lose some weight, and that turns our love into trade negotiations. It happens because we don't accept the people as they are. Usually, we consider ourselves smarter and better than our partners, and we're trying to change them or at least manipulate them with some conditions. That I know better self-confidence is also very irritating for your partner. And so much for the sacred love. Let's face it. Love is free of any conditions. Yes, it's hard to accept that your lover lives in his own reality and has opinion different from yours. How dare he? The conflict is inevitable. There is so much to learn from this conflict, but instead we push it away and end up breaking up because this is the role model we have from our parents and the world around us. Our fears also block the path of any relationship. Every time when we fall deeply in love, we face our deepest fears, which are, they will leave me or they will die. What the heck I'm going to do then? To protect ourselves, we stop trying to connect more deeply. But remember, when we give in to those fears and turn our life into a defense against pain, our life will only be suffering. There will always be pain because your heart is broken again. And the other side is the pain of loneliness, which is much worse according to the Gospel of Nicola, chapter 17 and 23, if I'm not mistaken. I myself was fortunate enough to be influenced in my youth by this typical French attitude to lost love, movies like Jean Moreau, Alain Delon, Gabriel Garcia Marquez books. Spanish writers has this sense of very thin difference between life and death, which is always surprising. The emotionality of Boris Vian, many others, and of course by music. So my mind was kind of prepared for these fears and tears. But there are very important benefits of suffering. It builds our character, we become more empathetic in the first place, more capable of compassion, more sensitive in our emotional perception, means we are more able to appreciate and experience some joy because of some very tiny details like the freckles on her cheek. We also grow stronger. Sometimes we develop wisdom, and most importantly, we begin to value our next partner much more than the previous one and become more willing to give ourselves to love. It requires experience that you cannot get in just one relationship. So suffering and surrendering to love are two sides of the same coin, and neither can do without the other. If you want to live the love of your life, you will suffer. If not, you will suffer full time anyway. You have to make a choice. At least it will set you free. By the way, many years ago I did a study of what all the great geniuses, musicians, artists, thinkers, etc. have in common. What drives them to be so great? And guess what? it was the suffering. But if suffering is still too scary for you, better go to your priest. He will tell you that at the other side of suffering lies greatness. And bring him a bottle of Chateau Fleur Cardinal Saint-Emilion Grand Cru 2016. Ask him to open the bottle for the Christmas sermon, because every drop of this wine is pure joy from heaven. Amen. And stay away from the stereotype. Be different and avoid people who consider that surrendering to love is beneath your dignity.